And this is the moment where we can pause, take a breath, and show you exactly where your money went in the Randox Grand National of 2025. And the first thing to note at the start is that one of the key fancies, Intense Raffles, double green colours the grey. He just naps away from the tape. He's got a good position there, JJ Slevin, but he backs away from the tape, and that was rather the way his race went. He was always on the back foot thereafter, and in the end, Intense Raffles was pulled up after the water, after a circuit, and they head down to the first, and they all clear the first safely. And well, in the main.
And you can pick out Nick Rockett, sort of centre of your screen, in a handy position. In the black colours, just jumping now. Minella Kakuna made a mistake, didn't he? His stablemate just on his inside at the first.
Not his only one.
No, he made a few. And there were one or two, as you say, that were just backing off the fences early, not going. Cocoa Beach didn't go a yard this year.
This is fence 2, the grey to the inside. That's Dufflecoat, makes a mistake there.
He's about to make another. Last year's winner, Iron Maximus, just on the inside. McManus Whitecap.
Broadway Boy in front, and this is where Dufflecoat unseats and Stumptown. How on earth Keith Donoghue didn't come out the side door, I do not know.
And that was him finished. So that's Intense Raffles, Stumptown, as can happen in this race. So their chances have effectively gone after 3.
All over the 4, slight mistake from Senior Chief. Further back in the field, Broadway Boy up there with Hewick. A 3 under through 5 is very wide on the track, but not as wide as Brave Man's Game, the orange colours, as we come down to fence 5. Now, Iron Maximus makes a mistake here, Whitecap.
Yeah, just slightly clipped the top, didn't he? But it didn't lose him too much momentum. He makes a more notable mistake on the final circuit, Iron Maximus.
Beach's
after
first
which he did
time.
well to recover.
You already get the impression they're going harder than last year.
Cocoa Beach didn't enjoy it today, makes a mistake here in rear. Intense Raffles a mistake as well. And then they come on to Foynaven, and they're much more strung out than they were at this point last year.
Yeah, and that endures. Broadway Boy not great there. He's a fence, as we know. That's where he got his name from. Can catch horses out on the back of Beach's Foynaven, as it's so much smaller as he approached the canal turn.
Appreciate It makes a mistake here. He's in blue and green colours, the only Mullins horse who didn't really figure in the race.
Must do better, Willie.
There's another mistake from Minella Kakuna there as well, wasn't there? And meeting of the waters, not his only mistake. He didn't stay again, did he? I don't think this year.
This is where we lose Percival Legalois. Badly hampers Royal Pagaille. Oh my word.
Field Door 2.
Field Door was nearly brought to a standstill.
It's the second time that Field Door's been interfered with, because Dufflecoat's fall, he also was impeded by that.
Broadway Boy 3-card brag the inside. Beauport going quite well, the Twist and Davis horses. We knew they'd be up there, and indeed they were. Hewick, side of the front, Hitman, the far side, the Sheepskin Cheek Pieces is up there. The winner is in about 9th, jumping alongside Grange Clare West, the eventual 3rd. And there was a mistake there. JP McManus horse in the red cap.
Oh, Chantry House down the outside.
Chantry House, James Bowen.
The best of the British, ultimately. Iroko ends up a long way back at this point. He's near a meeting of the waters. They'll be seeing a fair bit more of each other later in the race.
He's run a huge race, really, hasn't he? Because you look at Iroko, I mean, because look at where he's come from. He's got a lot of horses in front of him at this stage, and you can pick out the 1, 2, 3. Nick Rockett, handy. He's only got a couple of lengths off the pace. Grange Clare West, only a couple of lengths off the pace. Iron Maximus not too far back. Iroko's come from a long way off it, hasn't he? And had to make up a lot of ground.
Brave Man's Game is now up into about 5th. He's covered an awful lot of ground to get there. Likewise, his stable companion 3 under through 5. Minella Kakuna, by contrast, Johnny Burt, the white cap, he's saving ground just in front of Iron Maximus. Vanillier never really got into it. He's to the inside of stablemate Stumptown, as they come down to fence 13.
He seemed to sulk somewhat, Vanillier. Everything was fine up until around this stage, and he loses his place quite suddenly after the chair, I think it is. Not sure whether he makes a mistake there or not.
Reminder there for Intense Raffles, who just wasn't taking a cut at his fences.
And apart from the Twist and Davis pair and Brave Man's Game, it's really Ireland at the front, Britain at the back. Monbeg Genius not going, Twig not really going at this point. Highland is a long way back, Stay Away Faye a long way back. Royal Pagaille is pulled up very shortly. His rider, Charlie Deutsch, has a chat with the rider at Cocoa Beach, and I think they're both going to call it a day here.
Pace maps out the window quickly when Cocoa Beach starts off in last and stays there. I mean, he was a horse who was expected to be amongst the front rankers. He's been in previous Grand Nationals setting the pace, and this was his 4th attempt in one.
Patrick's got to be delighted at this stage with his position, though, hasn't he? He's just right in behind and got the inside route now. He didn't jump off right on the inside, but as the field started to thin out and maybe 1 or 2 are dropping further back and not really travelling, he's managed to navigate himself to that inside position, cut the corners, save himself ground on the final circuit.
Intense Raffles is now going to be pulled up. He's right at the back. That was a disastrous run from him as they come down to fence 17 and embark on their 2nd circuit here. There's Intense Raffles being pulled up. Still Broadway Boy leads them in the beige colours down toward the inside.
Must delve back into the books again to see those Bobby Joe winners and horses that have got form in that race coming out and following up.
Now
in
clearly,
the Grand National.
Paul Townend, Brian Hayes, Rachel Blackmore, Johnny Burt think they're getting a lick on too quickly because they've all restrained their horses and they're a bit further back now.
It was notable how Rachel rode Minella Indo this year. She was wanting to keep him more covered up, had him a bit further back off the pace. For a long way, he was really swinging along, but he just didn't finish off.
Nick Rockett taking closer order, jumps that in about 4th. He's upsides Oronzo Dairy in the purple colours. He's run a huge race for a long way, but he's not trained by Willie Mullins anymore.
He ran well, didn't he? The other horse to run well, Brave Man's Game, just in behind. Now, for a long way, he gave James Reevely a great spin, didn't he? He didn't finish off.
1 before Beechers, we lose Can Do Kid, who's the grey on the inside in the noseband, going quite well just behind Iron Maximus. Harry Compton, and he's right in front of Appreciate It. And this is what happens the 1 before Beechers. Jumped it okay, just knuckled, and Appreciate It's got absolutely nowhere to go. Stumped out again. He's had a shocker.
I mean, Gavin Cromwell, he's at Vanillier, just not fancied it this year, and Stumptown has just had absolutely no luck from the get-go.
Sheepskin noseband quartered colours of JP McManus, quartered cap, just behind the winner Nick Rockett. Iroko starts to make a little bit of ground. Mistake Meeting of the Waters, Hampers Fieldor.
Yeah, Fieldor again, another one who's had a luckless passage. When you're back there, it can happen. It just increases the likelihood that you're going to meet trouble. You've got so many rivals to negotiate.
Minella Kakuna was bad at Foynehaven, and so was Iron Maximus, who's lost his position now.
That was the key mistake from Iron Maximus, which you could argue lost him the race. The 2nd and 3rd both make notable errors in the race.
Hewick makes an error at the canal turn 2nd time.
Yeah, he runs into it. Something of a peck on landing. It just checked his momentum. It wasn't a significant mistake.
Now, we're not going to show you Broadway Boy's fall at Valentine's 2nd time. Concerns still for him, news to follow. As we come to fence 26, Broadway Boy is now gone. Celeb Dalen has appeared from nowhere.
He just tanked, didn't he? I mean, he clearly loves the track. He just doesn't stay this trip. But he ran a blinder for a long way. We start to lose Horonzo Dairy at this point. He can't go with them, but he's run well up to now.
And Celebrity Bragg is starting to fade.
Celebrity might have been the one to deprive Willie the Topham win had he gone for that instead.
He's run a massive race. Highland moved up, backed out very quickly, really unsighted Highland. Beauport's still there at this point. He's 2nd from the right. Grange Clare West, I thought at this point, well, he's going to have the class to win.
Yeah, I mean, he'd really taken to it well, and it jumped impeccably up until that final fence. Just a note on the winner, and compared to the 2nd, we've had the race IQ data through, suggesting that Nick Rockett gained 27 lengths on Iron Maximus through jumping through the race, apparently.
This is the big move from Maximus. Around the outside, big threat to everything, knowing how well he saw things out last season. There are plenty still there, but
I'd say the game's still there. He gets squeezed out, doesn't he? Yeah,
he starts to back there. Celebrity Len, who's the petrol gauge. It's not an empty. I'm afraid the car's exploded by this point.
This is the key one, though, for inside Grange Clare West. Oh! The overhead shot gave you a better indicator of just how much momentum and the lengths that he lost.
So it's a 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 for Willie Mullins. So add up all the prize money and we'll start doing some number crunching as regards this Trainers' Championship. Nick Rockett driven now by Patrick Mullins, and what tenacity he's shown. Iron Maximus under that huge weight, giving the whole lot for Paul Town, and he didn't have a smoother passage as last year. Grange Clare West, count yourself a little bit unlucky. The winner's going on at the end. Nick Rockett wins, Iron Maximus 2nd, Grange Clare West 3rd, Iroko 4, Meeting of the Waters was 5th, Senior Chief came home in 6th place. Minella Kakuna was 7th. 8th was Hewitt. What a fine run. Another great run from Minella Indo, the Gold Cup winner, in 9th. Twig fared 2nd best of the Brits in 10th. 3-Card Bragg 11th. 12 Beauport finished. So did Oronzo Dairy. Vanillier completed for the 3rd consecutive year. Brave Man's Game finished 15th, and Chantry House was 16th and last to finish. Patrick Mullins and Sarah coming up to the podium to join Mum Jackie, Dad Willie, owner Stuart Andrew. Joyous scenes here as the race that will hereinafter be known as the Mullins Grand National comes to a conclusion. So he's now had 3 Grand National winners. By the time his career finishes, how many do you think he'll have?
Probably
6,
double
7,
it.
8.
He's got 4 or 5 in that race. He'll be back for more next year. And Nick Rockett is still a lightly raced horse. It is hard to do it back to back. I Am Maximus has gone as close as any since Tiger Roll, and for his lad to be riding it as well. I don't think that can be bettered. Maybe I would say you can win a Gold Cup, that would be amazing with your son riding, but I think the National, I think it would trump the Gold Cup in most people's eyes.
I mean, Dickinson had the first 5 in the Gold Cup in 83. And at the last, I thought, this is Dickinson's Gold Cup again. Mullins is going to have the first 5.
But in a handicap.
But in a handicap, with horses that have been campaigned mainly in graded and Grade 1 races.
He'll no doubt want to put that record straight another year and get the 4th place as well, won't he?
And just making some report notes on the card, areas of improvement.
This is a tough game, and I don't suppose there'll be too many people feeling massively sorry for Dan Skelton. He's had an amazing season, but if he doesn't cling on to his championship, you'd have to have a heart of stone not to feel for him a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, it looked locked up, didn't it? It looked as if it was game over. But what a week it's been here for Willie Mullins. Quite incredible. And as you say, to have the 2nd and 3rd and pick up all of the associated prize money with that is huge, really, as far as that championship.
He brought 28 horses here, Willie Mullins. He's had 5 Grade 1 winners. He's won the Topham. He's had the first 3 home in the Grand National and the 5th and 7th for good measure. What do you say? The man is simply masterful.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.